Hey kids, it's Blackjack with 396 Guitars. We have an Epiphone Les Paul, but not your average Les Paul. Let's get to work. I'll try to explain what's going on with my camera. What you guys do? It's a Peter Frampton Epiphone. I don't know how old it is. Crafted in China. I guess like an 18 or something like that. Does that sound about right? Maybe. We're doing a restringed setup. He wants flat wounds on it. 3 pickup configuration. Of course, as soon as I opened up the case, I went right away, oh, this is an Ace Frehley thing. No, it's a Peter Frampton thing, and he did that too. Really neat, extra light. The whole guitar is chambered to the point where it's really almost a hollow body. It's really lightweight. I wanted to take a moment to talk before we get into everything that's loose on it and what we have to do in the normal course of things. Is the configuration. 3 pickups. You don't normally see that in any kind of Les Paul configuration. A couple of people have. My question is, did they ever make that, or did he order that, or did he, find one and it was an oddball thing and that's what he wanted, And there's a long story behind the one that he actually had. He lost it for many years due to a plane crash and blah, 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 blah. Not that he was involved in it, but the guitar was. And when he got it back, it was all burned and fried. But I digress. I just wanted to take a moment to show what the configuration is of the way the pickups work. It's pretty neat. Basic, but pretty neat. So you're in your neck position, and you would think that, where are we? Something came loose, is not working. Uh-oh, something's not working. Yeah, right away we found something wrong. If the volume pot is all the way to 10, we got nothing. Back it off slightly, it starts to work. Gonna have to talk to the customer about that. I'll bet he didn't even know. Well, there's so many other pickups, And that one is affecting everybody else. We're going to have to look into that. Anyway, neck. That is not working properly. Yeah. Oh, we got a loose output jack. That might be part of it. Yeah. But that actually is the middle pickup working. I wanted to illustrate how this was doing its thing. In the bridge position, it's middle and bridge. In the middle position, it's supposed to be all 3. And that's not even doing its thing. Something is screwy and here. Stand by, I have to open this up. So, yeah, what we found was, right here in the 3-way switch, this little wire was kind of touching, and it shouldn't have been. It was touching one of the terminals going out into the control cavity. And it looks like a funky wiring job. It is suspect 100% for sure. I can hear all kinds of weird stuff going on there, but it is back to working correctly. So, in the neck position, neck and middle, bridge is off. In the bridge position, neck is off, middle, and neck work. In the middle position, all three work. But if you shut off one of the volumes, only the middle works. Odd, odd, odd. Turn off one of the volumes. Oh, if you only turn off the neck volume, it shuts off everything except the middle. If you have it in the middle and you turn off the bridge, the neck still works, the middle is off, and the bridge works. That's just, it doesn't seem correct to me, and I got to do a little bit more research, but judging by the fact that something didn't work right off the bat, and I'm looking in there and the wiring looks suspect. Makes me want to open up this guy right here and see what's happening. Makes me wonder. Makes me wonder. I can tell you that, you know, that looks suspect to me. It doesn't look like anything that would come out of a factory, even though it's, you know, especially China. I mean, they know how to do wiring, that's for certain. Everything looks clean. It's really small wiring. It's Korean Jinsu pots. Something doesn't look right up here, and I'm thinking that somehow one of those wires, they're ground shielded wires on two of them, one of them would be the middle pickup going there. The other two, the bridge and the neck, are wired like a regular Les Paul, but you have an added cap on each volume pot, bridging the middle and left terminal. Odd, really odd, really odd. That's not how I would do it, but I don't know. Maybe that's the way I would do it, but I surely wouldn't leave all this shielded ground wire up here to move around and touch other things. Because right off the bat, and there was no complaint of anything not working right, but there it was. That was my first plug-in, and you know, sure enough, there was something wrong. I'm going to leave it like that for now. I have everything separated so it's not touching any of the shielded ground wires are touching any of the hot terminals, as it were. It could be that's all it was, and it's possible that the client just wasn't aware, or he hasn't played it in a while, or he just plain wasn't aware. It literally is in here only for a restring and a setup. So, but what did I find? Yeah, right off the bat, something not right. Also, I found the actual nut is for the toggle switch is loose. The output jack nut is loose, so that's all part of the setup for me. I always check that stuff, as well as hardware, what have you. Let's get to it. I think everything's working. We'll find out here in a minute. I almost want to test it one more time. We're putting flat wound 11s on it. Let's just see what's on it. Looks like steel wound. There's 10. Oh my God. There's some sort of hybrid string setup on it. 46 to 13. No. They're not flat wounds, I can tell you that. So let's find out where we're at to start with before we move forward. I'm curious. I can't believe how light this guitar is, because it's basically a hollow body. Well, the neck relief needs to be opened up a little bit too tight. We need to open it up, but we won't know that 100% until we change the strings, because we're going dramatically different types of strings at different gauge. 46 to 12, I don't know what that is. Good clearance off the tail piece, the stop bar. Where is our string height? Where is our string height? It's pretty high. It's way over 5/64 on the bass, and at 4, it's okay on the treble, but it's way high over here. So we got a tight neck. It's too straight. String height is kind of boogered. Who knows what's going on here? It doesn't really matter, because that's the last thing I check is pickup height. They don't seem too bad the way it's set up, but it's not set up right. So I'm going to pause while I de-string it, and we're going to come back. I want to clean up the frets a little bit, and I want to polish and oil the fretboard. It doesn't feel too bad. It's a little dirty, so we may just scrub it and clean it, and then oil it, and then we're going to do a restring and setup. Stand by. All right, kids, de-strung it. Get rid of these. I don't know what kind of hybrid string this is, but they're pretty heavy on the treble side, which isn't such an oddball thing when you're talking about flat wounds. They're usually a stepped up gauge, but anyway, I digress. I am going to clean these frets, and I want to wash the board, and we're going to do that first, because skin, DNA, sweat, whatever you want to call it, and it usually builds up on the leading edge from the tail. A lot of it has built up on the bottom side of each fret. I'm not going to get in there and scrape that off. Usually I will just non-silicone soapy stuff, right? And then I'm going to go to clean it, because it's a little dirty. Really soft brush. That's all it takes. I don't do this on every single instrument unless I see it that it's kind of grungy and I want to get that poop out of there. And this one wasn't terrible, but it was noticeable. And wipe it off. And you'll know if you got it or not. Sometimes you have to do this 2 or 3 times for it to loosen that gook up and get it off of there. And like I said, it usually is on the leading edge. I don't know why that's where it builds up, but it does. Crappy crap. That's where the rubber hits the road. That's where you play the guitar. You don't want that gook on there. I think I got it all off. It came right off. I think I can live with that. Let's get a close look at it. Yeah, I don't want any of that crap on the fretboard. And the next step is to, of course, we're going to clean up the instrument, so any of that splash is going to come off. But the next step is pretty simple. Kind of discolored, tarnished, call them what you want. When the strings are off, that's the time to clean them up. I do this as pretty standard operating procedure on every instrument. This is like almost 1,000. You're not doing anything other than taking the crap off of the fret wire. That's all you're doing. And you can kind of see the difference in those two right there that I just did compared to the other ones. So again, I'm going to pause. I'm not going to show you this entire tedious process. It does take about 10 or 15 minutes. I'm not getting after it and doing a full fret dressing. This is just cleaning them, most of the crap off of the tops. And this actually gets around to the side a little bit, but if you want a real fret dressing, yeah, I got to tape the board off and get after it. It's a 52,000 step procedure, but these are not that bad. They're just tarnished from probably never being cleaned. All right, stand by. So, clean up the frets, and I mean, I'm sure on camera you can already tell what the difference is, right? Next step, a little linseed oil. This is going to be a little bit longer video than usual, but I'm going to try to get it all in one. So, some of you, most of you, many of you have seen this process. Not everybody has. So we cleaned the fretboard. We scrubbed it with a little bit of non-silicone soap, brushed it to get some really goopy crap that was on the board that just doesn't need to be there. And we quickly cleaned, I don't want to say polish the frets, but yeah, it is a polishing step. It's just not, you can go so far with frets. I mean, you can go really far with frets. They weren't that bad, so that's all we're doing on it. And then a little bit of linseed oil on the actual fretboard because, well, now is the time to do it. You apply it, and no, you don't need to put it on and go to lunch and come back and let it sit on there, because what's happening is the oil, the longer you let it sit on there, guess what? These frets are, many of them, some of them, most of them are probably glued in. You don't need that oil soaking down underneath the fret. But you do need to treat the fretboard, so put it on and take it off. Trust me, it did its job. And you'll know the difference when you play it. You think this isn't necessary? It absolutely 100% is. And it also, you know, finishes the cleaning process. Not only on the fret wire, but on the fretboard itself. If you don't believe me, look at that. Right? Buff it. Buff it. Don't leave any extra on there. And take time to hit each fret. Right? And then, last process. Again, we're just cleaning, but do this last step. And just the top of the frets. And you think it doesn't matter, but it does. It's taking tarnish off. That oil is helping to clean the actual fret wire. You can go way farther. I have. You can look it up. I got a million videos on fret dressing. I mean, sometimes we have to go all the way with them because, well, they could be high frets. It could be just so far gone that we need to do a little bit extra. But it takes taping the board off and doing a lot of extra stuff. I would say they're not terrible, but they're not great. When that happens, they're a little sharp. I would recommend to the client fret end dressing, but we're not doing that today. Only because he didn't ask for it, and I'm not going to upsell him. It does need to be done, but we can always do it at a later date. Yeah. At this juncture, I want to clean up, but while I'm thinking of it, yeah, everything's loose there. And I know that that was loose. See if it tightens up without turning or spinning on me. It did. Oh, happy day. Sometimes you have to take the back cover off and actually hold the switch while you tighten that up, but no, it's nice and snug. If you can move that with your finger, it's too loose. The output jack is also loose, and I use this little guy for that. So I don't have to take off the plate. You put that in the output jack hole, tighten it, and it basically goes in the hole and it opens up, holds the interior of the jack while you tighten it, which in this case is a 13 or ½ inch. And snug is enough. It's not a Harley Davidson. You don't have to put an impact wrench on it. Just snug it up. You follow? All part of a setup, and I'll bet dollars to donuts these are loose. They are. Well, this one is. Yup. Now, if you go to snug this and it spins, well, then take it apart and fix it the right way. That one tightened right up. That one's already snug. We're golden. It is time to wipe it down. I'm not going to bore you with that. We're going to clean. Right? I'm going to wipe it down. When I come back, it'll all be nice and shiny and clean. It takes a hot minute to do this. And again, if your guitar guy isn't doing this stuff for you, get a different guitar guy. You follow me? Are you feeling me? Everything wants a little love every once in a while. Stand by. Alright, we have our strings in the stop bar. Just kind of put them in there all at once. And we're going to go to restring. Now, one thing I like to do is put a little dollop of tune-it lube in every saddle. Right? Every saddle. It's just a non-petroleum lube. each nut slot. It helps the strings slide. And yeah, the strings slide at those takeoff points, both at the saddle and at the nut, right? Do it every time I string a guitar. Unless I forget. Let's face it, I'm getting older and I do forget things, but almost always. The first one is always the toughest on a Les Paul style, but Epiphone puts a little spring retainer in there so the stop bar stays. I like that feature. I wish Gibson would use it. Measure to the next peg. It's going to live here. Measure to the next peg. Put a bend. Stop at the bend. The first wrap goes above the hole. Every other wrap goes below it. So you have one wrap above the string hole and every other wrap below it. Make sure you're in the saddle, make sure you're in the nut slot, and you should have at least two wraps, two full wraps, and starting a third. Just bring it up to tension. We're not trying to tune right now. Just bring it up to tension. Snip off the excess. Bring it up to tension. I'm going to show you the A and then I'm going to do the rest off camera and come right back. Same thing. String is going to live here. Measure to the next string peg. Bend it. Push it through. Stop at the bend. Bend your excess up out of the way. Make sure you're in the saddle, make sure you're in the nut slot. Bring it up to tension. Again, we're not trying to tune yet. Stand by. Alright, so we have it all strung up. Oh, and by the way, just a little dab will do you. Any excess that's on there, get rid of it. And, moving the saddles and the nut. Now we're going to tune it up to pitch. I wasn't too far off. Oh, I was way off on the high E. Always scared of the high E. It always seems like you're going to snap it. Get them up to pitch, stretch. Now, hold at the first fret and just give it a gentle tug. It helps seat it at the saddle and seat it in the nut. Get it up to pitch. And now we're going to start with our setup with these strings. And yeah, they're going to continue to stretch, but right now I'm tuned up to pitch. I can check my neck relief, and that's what I'm most interested in at this point. Different kind of strings, different gauge. I want to know exactly where we're at there. And believe it or not, where I thought it was too straight before, we put heavier gauge strings on, even though they're flat wounds. The heavier gauge put more tension on the neck, and I'm going to run with that. It's 12 thousandths at the 7th fret, and I can live with that. That's exactly where I want it. at this juncture, I know my neck relief is good. Forget about pickup height or any of that stuff, or even string height. I want to know where my intonation is. Pitch, harmonic at the 12th. Oh, it's dead on. I can live with that. Somebody got the intonation right at some juncture. But I can tell you, something buzzing there. Next is our string height, and yeah, we have our neck relief. We know our intonation is good. One last check at our clearance from our stop bar over our saddle bridge assembly. We're good. I can live with that. You just don't want your strings touching anywhere back here from your stop bar. The break angle goes up and over to the saddle. If it's touching the back of the bridge, that's a failure point. You're going to start popping strings. I don't care who you are or how you play. Let's see where our string action is. Right? Really low. Really low. Because when I was wiping the guitar down, obviously, I moved these. Come on. Focus. Thank you. I moved these while I was cleaning up the guitar and wiping everything down. Remember when we started, we were too high on the bass side, but we were okay there. So we need to come up on both. Yeah. We need to come up quite a bit on both. So if you're coming up, especially with a tune-o-matic, loosen your string tension off and guesstimate where you're coming up to. I'm going to go a whole turn. We were so low, and about a half a turn there. And you guessed it, tune back up the pitch. Get your string tension back. Get up to 440. And then check your string action again. And you might have to go through this a couple of times. I want to be, I guessed at it perfectly. I want to just, now it's a little tall. I want to, and that's still a little low. So what I want to see here is, I want to disappear the 5/64ths line on the bass side, and I want to reveal the 4/64ths line here. So just below 5/64ths and slightly above it. When I say slightly, it's a micron. But that's where I like to set up Les Paul style instruments. So down, half a turn, and up slightly. Tune back to pitch. And check again, right? That's my happy spot on a Les Paul. I want to be, no, it's too much still. I got to go down. I got to go down. Going down, detuning, you're okay. You don't have to loosen string tension. Okay, I disappeared the 5/64ths line. On the treble side, yeah, we're still too low, which means we have to come up. Up. And then, you guessed it, tune back to pitch. See how tedious this can get? But it's what you have to go through. And if you don't do these steps, you're not going to be in your happy place. A, B. Measurements. Measurements. It's all physics. I like it. Still too low. Still too low. Slightly turned up. Just above. I'm going to go down slightly there because, you know, if you bring up this side, it will actually affect that side, and conversely the same thing, right? Get it right here and it'll play nice. Unless there's some other anomaly. Unless there's some other anomaly. When you get down to fine tuning, you're not going up and down, and then you don't have to so much loosen the strings every time. If you're making drastic adjustments, loosen them, make your adjustment, recheck. Right? I can tell you that this instrument is almost ready to go back, and we are running out of time. The last thing I want to do before we do our pickup height because I had no idea where this is. There was no complaint of dead frets. But I want to know. Yeah, this guitar is standing tall. It is. I mean, it is literally standing tall. We're going to let it settle overnight. Let the strings stretch a little bit. And then I'm going to check everything again tomorrow morning. Yep. So the last thing we want to know 100% for sure is where our pickup height is. And they're a little close on that one. Really close. Really close. You want these to be right. Yeah, having them close is not the best thing. You're choking your sound out, and strings can actually buzz off of the pickup screws, the pull pieces. It's not rocket science either. You know, it's a magnetic field. You want to be at 1/8 on the bass side. 3/32 on the treble. That one's too low. That one's too low. And conversely, if you're too far away, you're losing power. Your magnetic field is not picking up the string vibration. The neck is good. Oh, those need to come up still. It's one of the most overlooked adjustments on a setup. I like that. I like that a lot. This guitar is ready to rock. It's Blackjack with 396 Guitars. I hope you enjoyed this. Off camera, I'm going to check the electronics again because, unbeknownst to me, it gave trouble right off the bat, but I think I found what it was. But, you know, we'll move on. Things like that happen. Remember, if you dig what I'm doing, like and subscribe, and please share. We'll talk soon.